In most environments, data loss or any type of breach is going to be a result of human error, malicious activity, or some combination of both of those. What we do to combat that is use least privilege. This is the concept of restricting your rights so you have the minimum amount of rights to perform whatever your job is. Now, for this to work, users need to log on with a user account that has the absolute minimum permissions necessary to complete the task they need to complete and nothing more. The advantage of this concept is when you log in with an account that has the least privileges, it's going to offer you protection against malicious code, other types of attacks, because the account you're using likely does not have the rights to install software, to execute code, to run scripts. So you increase your level of protection tremendously. Now, one way that works, let's say I have a user, Bob Ross. Bob Ross is an administrator in our environment. So throughout the day, every day, Bob Ross will perform administrative tasks and requires a high level of rights and permissions to do his job. But he also does things like surf the internet, check email. To do that, we would create two separate user accounts for Bob Ross. Bob Ross is going to have his day-to-day standard user account. Now, a standard user account means that account has no administrative rights assigned to it. So I'm going to say we just have an account named B. Ross. So that is the user account that Bob Ross will sign in with every morning. That's the account he uses for email, surfing the web, his just normal day-to-day activities. If Bob needs to perform an administrative function, maybe he needs to create a new user account for a new person we just hired in our company, we would have a second user account for Bob Ross. I'm going to say it's named Bob Ross _admin is the name of that user account. So let's say in our environment, that's what we do. All of our administrators have a user account with just like their first initial last name or something like that. They all have administrative accounts that all end with _admin, how we differentiate the two. Now, if Bob Ross knows he needs to create a new user account or perform some administrative function, he'll just be sure to use this administrator account for that. Now, the advantage to this, he would never surf the internet with this account. He's not checking email or anything like that. When he uses the standard user account here, it has so few rights assigned to it that it cannot install apps or execute code or anything like that. So we inherently increase our protection just by having the standard user account and then the administrative account.